Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the Alabama LSU postgame show from yours truly, Jackson Johnson and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports. We will be joined by Travion Ware in just a little bit to discuss our takeaways from this 20-9 victory over the LSU Tigers, all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And let me tell you something, folks. It's going to be a wild, amazing ride tonight on Alabama with the Voice of College Football. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I'm doing great, Jackson. The old saying goes, right? A win is a win. Because to me, this game felt like nothing sometimes. I don't know how this game felt to you, Jackson, but it just kind of felt like a nothing game for a lot of the game. Like, we won. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. We beat our rivals, LSU, but for the vast majority
LSU.
of the game, I'm not seeing all that much. I mean, Ty Simpson had some good throws early, but second half wasn't as good. LSU benched Garrett Nussmeier for some reason. I really don't understand why they benched Garrett Nussmeier because Van Buren Jr. was not really doing anything either. But at the end of the day, we won. And we got a lot to talk about this game, or ins and outs, the analytics, the stats, all that stuff. But I just wasn't very impressed with Alabama's performance. And I know people will be like, again, they won by 2 scores. What more could you ask for? It's not the fact that they won by 2 scores, because that is a good thing, right? I mean, they essentially won by what they were favored to win by, basically, roughly to that degree. So they did what they were supposed to do. It's just, to me, the point LSU's at in their season, I did not think LSU played very good in this game.
No.
And to me, if Alabama wants to achieve, their highest goals and dreams, win a championship, win an SEC championship, national title, all that kind of stuff, that type of performance we saw today is not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. We played pretty rough against South Carolina, but won. Good job. But that was on the road. Then we have a bye. We come back around. This was not the greatest performance. It just wasn't. I'm glad we won. Awesome, that we got the win. But definitely, to me, this was not a very good performance overall for Alabama.
Well, before we really go over our take on this game, we'd like to tell you about the YouTube membership tiers of Alabama at the Voice of College Football. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you'll have a loyalty badge next to your name, custom emojis to use in the comments and the live chat, and you get member shoutouts, like our good buddy, the godfather of the SEC, who is a YouTube member of Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And for $4.99 a month, you can become a Saber Disciple, where you can have priority replies to comments and access to a monthly hangout with yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports, and Travion Ware. And for $9.99 a month is the big one, the Bear Bryant Legends tier, where you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow, nor the weird weather of Alabama will put a stop to us from fulfilling your content request of Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And we've got a little something prepared for Christmas and Thanksgiving in the coming weeks. Hey, it's never too early to start preparing for Christmas, especially when you got top-notch merch of Alabama with the Voice of College Football. The dad hats, the trucker hats, the t-shirts, the sweatshirt, all of it, all right here. The tumbler cup, the game day mug, and the canned Coke. Man, that polo shirt and the long hair, that's not going to keep you warm. I tell you what, it is not going to keep you warm. I tell you what. But we've got it all right here at the Voice College Football Network, so stay tuned. Gentlemen, we won 20-9. We had some great moments, some moments, but it was a win is a win, as they say. And Travion Ware is just in time to join us for the post-game analysis for Alabama LSU. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing good, doing good. Always doing good after a win. However, Alabama can get them. Always doing good. But definitely ready to dive in and discuss what we saw tonight because there's definitely a lot to discuss. So ready to dive into that as soon as possible.
Well, gentlemen, we had a low scoring first half, and that was something I noticed. It was just uh not good, not bad, but we were in the lead at least. I mean, like the
Yeah,
kicking game, I'm concerned about it, but what did y'all think? We'll start with you, Trevion, and we will go to Jeffrey.
man, what did I think? Seeing Alabama. First and foremost, it just continues. It starts with the offensive end for me. They continue to have some of these slow starts, and of course they're getting the wins, but it's kind of glaring because as we get deeper and deeper into the season, those slow starts will affect this Alabama football team, especially when you get against those high-powered offenses that can score via the run game and in the pass game. So Alabama getting off to that slow start, that definitely was something that I've had my eye on for the past several games, and I was hoping to see improvement in that area tonight, but just didn't get that improvement that I wanted to see. So that was definitely a red flag for me. Like I said, you can never harp on the team too bad when they come out and get the victory, but still the same. That's still area of emphasis that I think that Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and Todd Simpson and just the entire Alabama offense they have to pull them selves to the side tonight and really just look at how they performed, how they executed because they left a lot of money on the table and that's kind of continuing to turn into a growing theme with this Alabama offense over the past several games. So that was definitely my biggest takeaway, just lack of execution on the offense coming out the gates.
We'll go to you, Jeffrey.
Oh, I mean, it sounds like a broken record at this point, but Alabama's running game is a problem. We're not running the ball at all. I mean, you look at the stats. You've got Daniel Hill, 7 carries, 21 yards, touchdown. Jam Miller, our star feature back, 8 carries for 13 yards. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Riley's not factored in. We try to mix in with Bernard every now and then. We, obviously this season have done, the hilarious with Caden Proctor a couple of times. But overall, whatever we're doing in the run game is not working. It's just not working. And I understand people will say the offensive line. And yeah, the offensive line could be better. But something's just wrong with our run game. I don't know. We're not running the ball well. And if you want to be a championship team, which I understand that's, not what we're discussing here. This is the post game for this game. But we know what Alabama's goals are every year: to win a national championship, to win an SEC title. It's the same every year. That's not going to get it done when you're averaging 2.6 yards a rush. And we had 59 total yards in the game. We basically abandoned the run game altogether. We just completely abandoned it and against an LSU defense that's not great. They have not been that great this year. It's not like LSU's defense is one of the best in the country. I mean, they've got talent, but talent does not equate to success either all the time. And LSU has underperformed on defense. I thought that we would run the ball better like we did last year on LSU. Yeah, Jalen Milroe is the biggest reason that we ran the ball well last year against LSU, but still, we ran the ball poorly in this game. And, our run defense was better today overall statistically. I mean, besides Durham's, like one big run. Other than that, we did good on run defense, but that still definitely needs to be a point of concern, point of emphasis against especially teams that are better against, on the ground. But I think that the positives from this game is that we won, and it was a double-digit win. And Ty Simpson, outside of getting rattled a bit, the fumble and all that, he was pretty good. But our run offense is a vast deficiency on our team right now. And it's not Alabama football. It's not the Alabama standard in any way because we have been such a great, rushing team for so long. And now it's our biggest weakness, which is pretty insane.
Well, and we've got, and Ty Simpson, of course, had a great night with 277 passing yards and 21 of 35 completed passes. and threw that one touchdown to Ryan Williams tonight. So that was pretty good. Tonight was the first time that we didn't score in the red zone since that loss to Florida State. And that's something I saw that was so we're now officially, I believe, 35 of 37 in the red zone this season. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna double check.
Yeah, and which in hindsight that isn't bad. That's still a pretty good ratio, but still the same. It continues to rear its head in key moments that Alabama needs to put their foot on the neck of their opponent and you know extend the lead, and they're unable to do that. And I just think that other teams see that, whether they're on Alabama's remaining schedule or getting or gearing up to play them in the college football playoffs. Other teams see that Alabama is having a weakness in scoring in the red zone sometimes, and also just being able just to score when they need to. Because defense continues just to play complementary football and bail them out, but we're gonna have a game where defense is not able to create that same magic. We've asked a lot of Kane Warmack and his unit, and they continue to step up, but still the same. With the glaring deficiency the glaring deficiencies uh, when trying to score the ball and things of that nature, that's just gonna rear its head. I feel like that. I feel like I said, when you get against a team that has a good offense that can actually run the ball. See, Alabama, like Jeffrey said, Alabama is having probably one of the lowest years in run production. But when you get against a team that can run the ball and that can throw the ball at will and can do both at a high level, that's definitely going to be a telltale sign because like I said, this issue is just a glaring issue, and it's just going to be a time where Alabama has to run the ball to pick up the down run out the clock, and right now we're showing the inability to do so. So
Mm.
that definitely uh shakes back to your point, Jackson, just about the red zone inefficiency and tonight being the first time since Florida State that they didn't score in the red zone. So, like I'm just saying, it's definitely going to be something that they'll be tested at again, and we'll have to see. Right now, they haven't passed those tests, but they continue to eke out wins. So, I won't harp on them too bad, but still the same.
There you go. And on the bright side, I was looking, and there was another stat that I saw, and this from LSU, where they are one of four teams to to be very low in points per game. They're up there with Northern Illinois and Nevada. This isn't 2010 Nevada or 2012 Northern Illinois. This is pitiful versions of Nevada and Northern Illinois we're talking here. Teams that are not even bowl eligible for this season. That's a bad look for LSU, but a great look for us because we saw that Pierre was putting a ton of pressure on Nussmeier. Like, our guys put a ton of pressure on him tonight. It was enough for LSU to go, you know what? We're tired of Nussmeier for tonight. We're putting in Van Buren.
Well, I still don't understand why LSU benched Garrett Nussmeier, though. I feel like when they did that, they conceded the game. I think it was a really bad decision. I mean, you look at his stats. I understand that in the grand scheme of things, Nussmeier wasn't great, right? There was mistakes, but he was 18 of 21 for 121 yards. I mean, no picks thrown. I mean, I don't understand why they benched him. I don't know. Maybe I can't say if there was like any arguments or disagreements on the sidelines, that something was said or whatever. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not down there on the LSU sideline, but
LSU?
obviously the LSU sideline, obviously they were frustrated at something because they benched him and brought in Van Buren, and they didn't get any better. I mean, he made one good throw in the game. Van Buren. It was one solid throw, but other than that, it's not like he brings like a completely different dynamic than Nussmeier did. Like maybe if he was a running quarterback, then it would have put pressure on Alabama's defense because Alabama's not the best team at run defense. But no, Van Buren was just sitting in the pocket, just the exact same as Nussmeier would have done. And when he scrambled, he was getting sacked. So, I mean, it made no sense. I mean, again, obviously, great for us that they did bench Nussmeier because it completely ended their chances. I think we would have won anyway. But I think for their side, benching Nussmeier was not smart.
Oh
Yeah,
well
when
for
I saw them,
LSU, but yay for us.
and when I saw them bench Nussmeyer and go to what's his name, Van Burden. Yeah, when I saw them go to Van
Yeah,
Burden,
Michael Van Buren.
And Michael Van
yeah, when
Buren,
I
he's got a presidential last name.
yeah,
Martin Van Buren. I'm
yeah,
like,
but
oh
when
yeah,
I
that's that guy on Animaniacs. That's right.
uh-huh. But yeah, when I saw LSU kind of concede and try to get a spark with Van Buren and seeing how Kane Warmack was still able to get this Alabama defense to adjust to, like Jeffrey said, it's not a lot of difference between Van Buren and Nussmeier, but still the same. Still being able to kind of stick with your game plan and continue to send the house with rushing three and dropping back eight and making Van Beer kind of having the playoff schedule and stuff. I think that still speaks volumes to Kane Warmax and how prepared he had that unit just to be able just to still force three fumbles against two quarterbacks, hold LSU's run game to 60 yards. I know they haven't had especially in the preseason
Well,
the
yeah,
offense.
it oh, there you are.
Just seeing that happen, that was definitely encouraging to see from that Alabama defense.
Oh yeah, like no doubt about it. It was. I was glad to see that we put a ton of pressure on Nussmeier and all those guys tonight. It was awesome. Like seeing Pierre just bringing it. Like I'm always looking forward to seeing Mister Yahtzee Pierre. I mean, it's like he was awesome. Bringing the Yahtzee out. And Brooks did very well tonight on offense. Like that was pretty cool. And oh my god, like Bray Hubbard and when Travion gets his when he gets back on screen, we'll have Travion talk a little bit about Bray Hubbard because he was excited. He was excited about Bray Hubbard tonight, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up his post. We're gonna go ahead and because it's somewhere around here, but there's always something in the Ets archives. We're gonna find it. There we go. Come on, come on. And where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Bray Hubbard flying around the night. There you go. That's what our guy Travion was talking about tonight. Loving it. So there it is. Our guy was talking. Our guy bringing up Bray Hubbard. I mean, dude was a winner, man. I tell you what. There you go. Hold on. You back?
Sorry guys, I don't know why. Yeah, I apologize about that. It literally while I was talking, the screen just. But yeah, I'm back. Most definitely back.
Yeah, you're good. It's
Got it.
happened to me tons of times.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. No worries. You talked a little bit about Bray Hubbard tonight. He got you excited. What was your takeaways from Hubbard?
Man, Bray Hubbard, he just continues to fly around. Like I said, he continues just to amplify what this Alabama defense has kind of been able just to generate over this stretch of games that they've been able to hold these opponents when Alabama's offense isn't as effective on offense. Just just him continuing just to be there, literally. Like you see multiple defenders flying to the football. You see uh, just him being able to cover in the back end and stuff like that, and seeing these young corners we got like Dijon Lee. He was tested on the island tonight. He was testing on the island tonight versus LSU 6'9" wide receiver Trey Dez Green, and he pretty much held his own. So just seeing Bray Hubbard's just consistent play, and I'm seeing that rub off on some of the younger DBs in the back end of that Alabama defense, and it's been a pleasure to see. Because like I said, this Alabama defense has carried this Alabama offense pretty much, I would say, for at least 3 games. Even the Missouri game, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, and even now. So a player like Bray Hubbard, he just continues just to show up, and we're gonna need that, especially going into the later part of the year with the teams coming with different different athletes and stuff like that. And it's just gonna be just more important just for Bray Hubbard to continue to play with that fire. With OU coming into town next week off a bye week, being able to kick their feet back tonight and watch Alabama and just kind of pregame for them. So Bray Hubbard, he definitely catching my eye, but I think all 11 on that Alabama defense are playing with the attitude that Hubbard is playing with.
Oh man, like all those guys that they were fun watching tonight, and you're also excited about Kane Womack and what did you think about this, Jeffrey? I personally thought that Kane Womack did a fantastic job tonight.
Fantastic job.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
what
I
did
would
you?
agree with that. I mean, you look at his track record of success. He is a good defensive coordinator. I mean, he is
We
a
call him
really
the
good defensive
Womack bat
coordinator.
for a reason.
Sometimes, his schemes, can get whoever he's been, the coach, at whether Indiana or at Alabama in trouble because, he heavy blitzes. Sometimes the packages he can get, beat. Again, the run defense has been a problem at times, but overall, when his defense is working, when his schematics are working, they work very well, and it depends on the opponent. LSU definitely did not pose a threat to Alabama's defense really at all in any way, and the defense was flying around the field. Womack did a great job with the schematics. I've had no issues with that at all. Bray Hubbard was great. I liked Pierre's performance as well. Pierre is fantastic. I mean, he's definitely our biggest threat when it comes to getting the quarterback on the ground. Definitely Nikhai Hill-Green was solid. Dijon Lee. I mean, I think our secondary is a lot better than it's been, the last couple of years. It's really good. They have moments of being elite. Sometimes they get beat, but they are really good. The defense definitely was better than the offense overall today. I think that they deserve a pretty good grade. I still think that LSU's, I don't want to say ineptness because, I mean, they weren't completely inept. They had a player two every now and then, but they were pretty bad. And again, I think our defense definitely impacted their performance on offense. But still, I mean, you just don't want to take like that performance, like some Alabama fans probably would say, oh, well, our defense is now like the best in the country. And I'm like, no, it's great. And it was good, really good today. But when we play a better offense in the future, and we will, you're gonna see some of the holes still, because when we've been tested, our defense can sell a little bit. It's not a bad defense. It's a really, really great defense, and they were really, really good today. But I still think LSU played a big reason why our defense looked so good. They were terrible. Their offense was terrible. So I definitely think our defense was great, but I still think this game in general, I was kind of shocked that we came out flat. I was not. I was just. It's not even like came out flat. The whole game was just kind of flat. It just seemed like Alabama left a lot out there. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they won, and that's an okay mindset to have. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a coach too, you want to strive to be as great as you possibly can be. You want to do even better. And I think the good thing about this game is that since the game posed really no threat and we were basically in complete control despite struggling a lot at times, I think that this is a game that's very teachable. You know, like we've got a couple more interesting games the rest of the way, Oklahoma, Auburn. You take this game, you say, hey, we played all right today, but this is not our best by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. And that this is a really good game to possibly have that could maybe boost this team later on down the line if they use the mistakes that were, you know, made in this game to be better the rest of the season. That's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, and I'm kind of that same mindset, Jeffrey, just because this Alabama defense continues just to show improvements under Kane Warmack. I call them a bend but don't break defense because obviously they have their flaws, they have their times where they're out of alignment or they might have an assignment bust and stuff like that, but they bend but they don't break. They literally we're seeing the timely stops, we're seeing uh the ability to turn over the football game after game. I think this is probably like their sixth. I, they won 8 straight games. I think they've had a turnover in each of the game they won. So those are, I look at those small things. Those are like championship characteristics to me because you got a defense that can get you timely stops. You got a defense that can be contagious and turn the football over, and you got a and just the amount of depth they have on this defense, you see they are expecting the return of Quay Rusal back, but they have a player like Yanzi Pierre who stepped up over this second half of the season and really has become Alabama's best pass rush specialist overall. And then just the multitude of different athletes we have on the back end in the secondary that continue just to man their own. Like I said, Dijon Lee continues to step up and make plays. Then you got Xavier Brown over there. Then you got Red Morgan continuing to flash around on the back end, and then you got just other guys like Damani Jackson. Obviously, he hasn't had his best season, but he continues just to be there when Alabama calls on his number and things like that. And right now, Alabama's defense, they're just playing real complimentary football and it's saving this offense. Like I said, I don't want to rag too much about the offense, but like I said, I think Kane Warmack and the entire defense, they deserve the game ball tonight
Oh
just
yeah.
with their performance because if we don't have that defensive performance, not saying they would lose, but the game would definitely be. You saw it was 11. You saw it was an 11-point game. It definitely would have been at least within a touchdown. So just seeing the defense continue just to win games and seeing that Alabama can win games in different facets. Like literally at the beginning of the season, we saw the offense was just kind of outscoring teams and kind of beating them with the pass game. But now we're seeing the defense getting these opposing offenses off the field and turning them over multiple times and those things have attributed to win. So definitely like the direction of this defense. Obviously it can get better, but like I said, the things they've shown over these last 8 games, I would call them championship characteristics because defense wins championships, and we need turnovers. We need consistent life, and defense is bringing that life when the offense appears to be lifeless at times. So that's my take
Oh
on the
man.
defense so far.
I always get excited anytime I hear a defense wins championships because it's like two things I think about. I think about Madden 2005 with the Ray Lewis cover and
Yeah.
our Alabama Crimson Tide defense. You know, it's just like I always get excited when I hear those three words: defense wins championships. And as you said, Travion, Kane Womack and the defense, they get the game ball for you. I'll go with Yahtzee Pierre for me on defense. Who would you say is your defensive MVP for tonight, Jeffrey?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a good question. Probably. I mean,
There's no
you
limits,
either
no
you either
rule.
got to go with Bray Hubbard probably or Pierre. I would probably say Pierre too. You know, don't want to copy your pick, but I mean, 2 sacks, set the tone. I think that you really can't get much better than that. I like the way again the secondary played too. I thought they were very solid. Just kind of shut down LSU from being able to get any success downfield. Nikhil Green, or you're looking at
Justin Jefferson.
Deshaun Lee Jr. as well. Both those guys were very solid. So, and great point. I mean, the D line, not the stats aren't there, right? Like James Smith, Tim Keenan, only with a tackle apiece. But it's about the pressures. It's about preventing them from being able to run the ball. And again, LSU's not a great run team, but still, I think that definitely, really, the entire defense was good. It was a really good defensive performance. I don't want to undersell it. When I sounded saying earlier that, hey, it's not the best defense in the country or anything. I'm not saying that to disparage them. It was a great defensive performance. It's just LSU was bad. Sometimes you just gotta, understand like the other team was not good, but our defense did play a big role in that. But I for a single player, I would go Pierre. But really, the whole D was fine. It was really good.
Oh man, it was awesome. But there were a lot of low points on offense, but on the bright side, offensive MVP for me is Ty Simpson. He got things rolling. And I before I got the show started, and a little bit before he came on, before you guys came on, I watched a little bit of that post game interview with the nice lady. I didn't have time to get her name. I'm just gonna call her the nice lady. But anyway, so Ty Simpson talked about the 24-hour rule, and I'm glad that's put in place again, because that's always been the rule that Alabama has. Win or lose, we always have that. You do your celebrating for 24 hours, and then you focus on next game when the 24 hours are up. When you lose, you kind of focus on it a little bit. You focus on it, then on to the next move when it's 24 hours and 1 minute starting.
Yeah, and I think that 24-hour rule it definitely has to be implemented quickly this week. Like I said, you got a feisty OU team on the bye week right now, fighting for their college football playoff lives. They can't really lose another game, and they kind of coming in Tuscaloosa with that same mindset that Vanderbilt had a couple weeks ago, that they can beat Alabama, particularly just off the last meeting they had last year. They came into Alabama went into Norman and dropped the egg. So they feeling like they can bring that same energy into Tuscaloosa and try to spoil Alabama's spoil kind of spoil the run that Alabama's on right now. So that 24-hour rule definitely needs to be emphasized, especially when, like I said, you're facing a dangerous team like OU. They're definitely better than LSU. They're definitely going to pose more of a threat on both sides of the football. So that 24-hour rule is definitely important. Definitely important, especially right now. So yeah.
There we go. Jeffrey, what did you think about the offense? Like, who would you say is your offensive player of the game for tonight?
Well, I mean, you look at the run game, nobody. So, I mean, you've either got to go with Ty Simpson or, I mean, one of the receivers. I mean, it's kind of hard to specifically say Ryan Williams because, I mean, he only caught 3 passes. Had a couple of, plays where he probably could have had catches. I mean, not as egregious of drops for Ryan Williams as he's had before. But, I mean, that one over the middle of the field, that could have been called. He didn't. It was a little high by Simpson. I mean, it's kind of hard to give Ty Simpson the game, ball or, MVP of the offense because he had moments where he was rattled, which is unfortunate because I think that Ty Simpson overall had a really good game. And I don't think that Alabama was ever in a position where being rattled made sense. I mean, Alabama pretty much controlled the game. There was never a moment watching that game where I'm like, okay, we might lose. It never felt that way. More so like I wouldn't say silence. Bryant Denny never got silent, but like the kind of quieter moments of the game was just more so Alabama fans being kind of frustrated with that we weren't pulling away when we easily could and should have. So Ty Simpson early on was really good. Like you said, set the tone. But then second half, I felt like he was definitely not as good. Now, to be fair, LSU was starting to just kind of be like, hey, let's just kind of blitz here because they're not running the ball. And that kind of goes back to our lack of running the ball. If we run the ball better, it would probably help Ty Simpson a lot more. All that being said, I think that Ty Simpson has to be given MVP of the offense, but it wasn't necessarily the greatest performance for that. Bernard was good, but he only had in the entire game 3 catches. It's just kind of hard to say, hey, your MVP of the offense had 3 catches. Like if Bernard had, kind of like we've done this before, Jackson, where, Bernard had like 9 catches, 160 yards, and a touchdown or 2. That's an MVP-like performance, but he had 3 catches. The offense was very spread out in the receiving game between Brooks, Williams, Horton, Bernard. So it's just kind of hard to give it to one of those guys. It's got to be Simpson, but it definitely was not his greatest game. He wasn't bad. He played good, but I definitely didn't care to see him a little rattled. I would definitely have liked, maybe to see a little more composure there. It's not a knock against him because he wants to be the best. He wants to be, the best quarterback he can be, and that's great. But I did feel like he kind of let the game, just the way it was going, kind of affect him a little bit. When there was a couple mistakes, it looked like he was visibly rattled, which is definitely not the greatest because we're going to have tougher games the rest of the season that you definitely don't want to see that in. But I would give the MVP to Simpson.
MVP for me, that's I'm kind of the same mind of Jeffrey. It's kind of hard to pinpoint the MVP when we had such a limited night offensively. But if I had to pick one, it's either going to be between Daniel Hill or Josh Cuevas. Those are 2 off the wall guys that kind of stood out to me. They didn't have a lot of production, as I said, but Daniel Hill, he continues to he's making the most out of the opportunities. You see, 7 carries. That's not a lot, but his ability to step up as a blocker and just give Ty Simpson more time to find those receivers when he was able to find Jeremy Bernard, when he was able to get the ball to Horton, when he was able to get the ball to Loxer Brooks, who should also be another MVP candidate for tonight. He the young freshman just continues just to step up and make key plays. Continues to make the most out of his opportunities. I saw that through him the screen tonight. He made like 5 dudes miss. But like I said, it's kind of hard to pinpoint an MVP. But if I had to go with one, like I said, it'd probably be Daniel Hill. Just like I said, just his ability just to step up as an extra blocker and continue just to get pick up yards when he can. It's kind of hard to pick up yards with the way this Alabama offensive run game is going right now, but he continues just to be there, and then also just the ability just to catch the ball out of the backfield and pick up first downs. I think he picked up probably like 2 first downs catching the ball out the backfield tonight, so that was good to see. But my MVP, like I said, Daniel Hill. That's who I'm gonna go with.
Well, and Godfather of the SEC also said Daniel Hill is the best bat we have, in my opinion, but best bat for tonight. I mean, like Jam Miller's still our best bat, but there is one thing you'll definitely learn when hanging with us, Trevion, is when everybody's thinking, when 3 of us are thinking the same thing unanimously, that means one thing. Great minds think alike. And you are one of the great minds, my friend.
Yeah. I'm also trying to see. Were you able to see some of the post game stuff about what the board was saying? That's also could be topics of discussion. With the post game interviews and some of the player takeaways and stuff like that.
Ooh. They haven't been showing that yet. We're still just kind of waiting it out for that, I guess. But they do that sometimes. They always do the mess around with us about that. But that's why we'll wait it out for Monday to discuss the final takeaways before our Oklahoma guys and girl join us on Monday night on Alabama with the Voice College Football. And before we sign off for the night, we've all got some magic cooking. Jeffrey, you got some magic cooking tonight. What have you got going on, good buddy?
after the show, I'm going to be going live like I do every Saturday night. Well, Sunday morning at this point for me, but talking all the games that occurred this week. It's always a blast. Didn't get to do it last week. I wanted to do it every week this year, but just did not work out last week. But I will be back this week. I know a lot of people missed the show last week, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that people miss the show. I missed the show. But we'll be back for the Week 11 college ball recap. And obviously, I'll have my predictions next week. But, keep the train rolling like we're doing here as well. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed already to my channel, definitely would appreciate if you check out Only Talk Sports. Also, follow me on X as well at Only Talk Sports. It was a lot of stuff to talk about today. I wrote a lot of stuff. I don't usually tweet or X or whatever you want to call it that much, but I did today. There was a lot of stuff to talk about in college football and even college basketball. There were some good college basketball games on today too.
Like Alabama smacking St.
Alabama.
John.
That deserves a mention. It's Alabama related.
Yeah,
Looked good against St. John's today.
Yeah, shout out to Nate Olson and them boys for pulling off the upset in Madison Square Garden over a top 5 team. So that should definitely get them moved up in those rankings for sure. Definitely like what I'm seeing from the athletic guards they got to the bigs they got, and looking like a good year. Look like Alabama is everything U school is what I would call them, a good basketball team, good football team. So things looking good in Tuscaloosa around this time of year.
Oh man. And since you're new here at the network, Travion, Caden the Diesel Freak is the guy that always calls in here on Alabama the Voice College Football, but he also calls in on each of the channels, but he also calls in on a few other YouTube channels. He always kind of puffs his chest about Ohio State, but then one week he brags about Miami, and next week he brags about BYU, and then he brags
It's
about
amazing. I mean, if he brags about your team, then you're screwed.
Oh, so he like a jinx type of dude, man. I thought you say he brags about Miami and stuff. I thought he had some ACC bias going around. That's going around this time of year. Everybody claiming the SEC is getting handed everything, but you're seeing the results literally. But you know, can't wait to meet him. Can't wait to talk ball with him. Yeah.
But oh my god.
Yeah, he's blowing up, folks. He's blowing up.
Oh man, oh man, we'll definitely have to show you like some of the past calls he's made here on this channel, Travion. You're gonna be laughing your butt off at him. That I can guarantee.
Oh man, I can imagine. But some of the magic I got cooked up coming this week. Really just checking out just the remainder of these late night games and getting ready to watch some of this NFL football coming up, and just also just seeing where Alabama will be ranked in the top 25 tomorrow. Will they move up? Right now they're at 4. It's kind of hard to move them up with Indiana. Indiana having the comeback win versus Penn State today, and then who else was it? And then Georgia's right behind Alabama, but they still took care of business versus I think they played Toledo. So just trying to see how much more Alabama can move up because Texas A&M they won today too, and Ohio State of course they won. So I think Alabama will probably sit tight at 4, but it'll be interesting just to see these next few days about the second unveiling of the college football playoffs. Like I said, it's not really much Alabama can do to move any more up unless they get Texas A&M to lose. But it'll just be interesting to see who they'll match up with because I saw last week Alabama would either play the winner of Georgia or Memphis, but Memphis just lost last night. So those opponents that
Georgia
Alabama might be,
Tulane,
yeah,
the
yeah. So
OG SEC matchup. That used to be a conference game from 1932 to 1965. Oh man.
And honestly, I don't know how I feel about that matchup. I mean, obviously Alabama has their number and everything, but you kind of want something new. You kind of want something fresh, from Alabama's standpoint because we've seen Alabama and Georgia part 5, part 10. We've seen all that, so so it'll just be interesting to see if they can get another matchup between that 12 seed and that 6 seed. But yeah, just really excited just to see how all this football shakes out, how some of this basketball shakes out. Like I said,
Oh yeah.
we gave a shout out to Alabama basketball. Interesting to see where they'll be ranked in the upcoming rankings. So look like Alabama should have two top 10 teams, college football and college basketball. A lot of schools can't say that. So
Nope.
looking forward to good times.
And we're gonna
Both ways.
smack Auburn off the face of the earth.
Have
Yep.
to, mandatory.
Yep.
But first, OU gotta smack OU
I
first.
can't. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Daddy's boy coaching Auburn against Alabama. Bruce Pearl's not gonna save him this time.
No.
No,
We're
no
gonna
chance.
chew up Auburn like a chicken nugget.
Yeah, no chance. So you saw, but Bethune Cook took them into OT the other day in basketball, so they can
Oh,
definitely be had. So
oh yeah, no doubt about it. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video of Alabama with the voice of college football. We will definitely be seeing you Monday night on Crimson Tide Live for Oklahoma Week, where we will be joined by Chad and Tierney Smith of Sooner Smiths and Josh Mahler of Oklahoma Sooners Live. And let me tell you something, folks. That's going to be a fun ride discussing Alabama, Oklahoma. And also, there will be a pre-recorded interview with Parker Thune of OU Insider. That will be released definitely during the week, which I would say like around Wednesday, Thursday. But we're deep diving into Alabama, Oklahoma. I mean, even when people say, don't deep dive into Alabama, Oklahoma. We did that last year, even when Oklahoma was a disaster, and we're doing it again this year, especially when Oklahoma's a good team this year. And with that, we wish y'all a happy Saturday night. Stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out. And enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, Sunday, and roll
Roll Tide.